whatever, you know, you said you could put videos on people's cell phones, so yeah, different directions to I think if we
today we're at the Backpack Cafe in Jeju City, and for the next few months there will be My Jeju, a gallery put together by a local expat, Brian Miller, running here. And here he is right now. So Brian, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'd like to know how you got started with the idea of My Jeju and put it together.
Yeah, well, I've been here for about 3.5 years, and just shooting pictures and whatnot. And the idea of the gallery basically was to take some of my favorite photos from my life here in Jeju, some of my most memorable experiences living here in Jeju, and put together a gallery where people could come and see the photos and share those experiences with me.
Photograph here. This is the portrait section, and this photo in particular of the family together, is there like a particular anecdote or story of how this one came to be?
Well, this is Jeju Triathlon 2008. That's Go Jaun, who ended up finishing in first place. One of my favorite sporting events on the island has always been, the Ironman triathlon, the other triathlons that they have here. I don't know, I've always just had a lot of respect for the people who run in them. It's, the people who run these triathlons, they usually don't run because they necessarily want to win the race. Most of them are running because they want to test their own physical limits. And there's something about that I find really admirable. And every time somebody finishes a race, it's a huge emotional event. Oftentimes, their families are waiting for them at the final stretch, and they all cross the finish line together, hand in hand. And this photo is, as I said, a photo of Go Jaun finishing first, and his family was waiting there for him. And you can see it was a very emotional scene. And it's just one of those cases where I was in the right place at the right time with the right equipment and the right settings, and everything just looked fantastic.
So Brian, here we are with the sports section of the gallery, and we have one of Jeju United here. And can you just tell us a little bit about what you do with Jeju United and shooting?
Yeah, well, most of these shots were taken for Jeju Life magazine, for the most part. But shooting sports is probably one of the most exciting things you could do in photography. But here's, you see a picture of Jeju United. This is a night where Home Alone is pictured here. Mm-hmm. He scored a hat trick, got 3 goals, and this is the celebration after the 3rd goal, which was, it's exciting to be at a stadium and to see something like that, but to be on the field shooting pictures of it, the whole game you're waiting for that shot. And when it happens right in front of you like this, it's a real exciting thing just to be there for the event and to be there on the field with the players while they're celebrating, and to be there as a photographer when all that happens and to capture an image like that is just really.
Do you find yourself celebrating you're a fan yourself of Jeju United as well, and caught between actually getting the shot and actually celebrating the goal?
Yeah, well, I celebrated after,
right.
And I was partially celebrating for the goal and partially celebrating because I got the shot. So.
All right, Brian. So this is another section of your gallery on the micro shots. And give us a general introduction to these shots that you have out here.
Yeah, most of these shots we're taking on the southern part of the island. We have some pictures of butterflies and spiders and other types of insects. This picture right here, I think, is frankly not the best picture in the gallery, but I think it's one of the more interesting ones because it demonstrates some of the more unique animal life on the island. And there was the spider here with the spikes all over it. I've never seen anything like that in the States, and I think it just demonstrates well a unique sort of animal life here now. Another picture over here of a snail that also is covered in spikes. That's something again that I've never seen back home, so I just find it interesting.
Well, and so how do you come to choose or go into micro photography?
Well, I think micro photography, when the shots, macro shots, tend to be some of the more interesting pictures that I see when I'm looking at nature photography because, you know, it brings people into a world that they may not be familiar with because not a lot of people take the time to stop and look around at the little world around their feet, you know? And so I think with macro lenses and macro photography, you can show people a world that they may not be familiar with and show them things that they may not have seen before. That's always exciting when you're a photographer and you can, you know, take people into a new world and share new things with them.